Have you ever sat down to do something simple and somehow 20 minutes later you realize you had spent the entire time scrolling? You open your phone to check one thing, one message, one notification, one video, and suddenly your mind is somewhere else entirely. I think we live in a time where our attention is being constantly put in different directions. We are expected to focus at work, reply to messages, keep up with people, learn new things, be productive, be creative. And somehow, at the end of the day, we are supposed to have enough energy to actually feel like ourselves. What happens when your mind becomes so crowded that even starting something feels difficult? That question takes me back to a small story I once imagined. A story about a girl named Kelly and a blank journal and a very ordinary Tuesday that quietly changed the way she looked at creativity. Kelly wasn't an artist, at least that what she would tell you. She didn't paint portraits. She didn't draw realistic pages. She didn't know how to use watercolors properly. And if you asked her to draw something from memory, she would probably laugh and say, "You really didn't want to see that." But Kelly loved beautiful things. She loved the smell of paper, the sound of a pencil moving across a page, the little box of colored pencils sitting untouched on her desk. She loved watching other people draw. She loved seeing an empty page slowly becoming something. But there was one problem. She would never begin. Every time she bought a new notebook, she would make a promise. This one is going to be different. She imagined filling every page, sketches, thoughts, ideas, colors, little drawings from every day, maybe even poems. But then would open the notebook, look at the blank page, and close it again because the page was too perfect. What if I ruined it? That thought had always stopped her. So the notebook remained untouched, beautiful, perfect, and completely useless. Until one evening, something happened. Kelly came home from work and dropped her bag on the floor. She was tired, not physically tired, the other kind, the kind where your body is sitting still, but your mind feels like it has been running all day. She made tea, sat on the couch, picked up the phone, scrolled again, and kept scrolling. And somehow nothing she saw made her feel better. She put the phone down, picked it up again, put it down, and finally whispered, "Why can't I focus anymore?" There was no answer, only silence. Then she noticed the journal sitting on her desk. The same journal she had brought 3 months earlier, still blank. Kelly walked over, opened it, and this time she didn't try to make something beautiful. She, she simply picked a black pen and made a line, just one line, then another. No plan, no subject, no rules, just movement. Her hand moved left, then right, round, and back again. And something strange happened. For the first time that day, her mind stopped moving so quickly. I think this is where I would have told Kelly something important, that the first mark on a journal page isn't really a drawing, it's a decision to stop consuming for a moment and start creating. Because we spend so much of our life looking at things other people have made, videos, photos, opinions, news, advertisements, other people's life, other people's achievements, and other people's art. And somewhere in all that consumption, we forget what it feels like to make something without needing anyone else to see it. Kelly didn't know any of this. She just knew that the movement of a pen felt good. She began making little circles, then waves, and then tiny boxes. Then she filled one box with lines, another with dots, another with scribbles. This wasn't art. At least she didn't think it was. After 15 minutes, she looked at the page. It was messy, uneven, a little ridiculous, and somehow she smiled because the page didn't ask her to be good, it only asked her to be there. A few days later, Kelly met her friend Tara at a little cafe. Tara noticed the journal immediately. You have started drawing. Kelly shook her head. No. Tara looked confused. Then what's that? I don't know. And that was the most honest answer Kelly could give. She opened the journal. There were pages filled with strange shapes, dark patches, little houses, clouds, flowers, random faces, words crossed out, words layered over each other. Tara turned the page slowly. You have been busy. I've just been doodling. Why? Kelly thought about it. I don't know. Then she paused. Actually, maybe I do. She looked down at page. Sometimes I have feelings that I don't really know how to explain. Tara nodded. And drawing helps. Kelly shrugs. Sometimes. She turned to a page she had made the night before. It was almost dark. Black pencil, deep blue, heavy lines. At first glance, it looks gloomy. Tara asked, what happened here? Kelly laughed softly. Nothing. But she knew that wasn't true. The night before, she had been angry. She didn't want to talk about it. She didn't want to write about it. She didn't even know exactly what she was angry about. So instead, she pressed the pencil harder against the paper. She shaded and shaded and shaded until the feeling had somewhere to. And maybe that's another beautiful thing about an art journal. Not every emotion needs a sentence. Some emotion needs a color, some needs a line, some need a shape, and some just need somewhere to exist. A few weeks passed. Kelly started noticing something. When she sat down with her journal, she stopped checking the time. 10 minutes became 20, 20 became 50. Not because she was forced herself to concentrate, because she had finally found something that made concentration feel natural. She had discovered what I like to call is flow. That strange space where you become so absorbed in what you're doing that everything outside the activity becomes quieter. You don't think about the mail you haven't answered. You don't think about tomorrow. You don't think about whether someone liked your last post. You don't think about whether you're doing enough with your life. You simply there with the pencil, the paper, the color, the movement, the moment. And perhaps that's what many of us are missing. Not motivation, not another productive hack, but opportunity to experience focus attention without pressure. Because thinking about how often we are told to focus on your work, focus on your goal, focus on yourself. But nobody really teaches you how to experience focus. Sometimes you have to discover it through something simple, something tactile, something that doesn't demand perfection. For Kelly, that something was a journal. One Saturday morning, Kelly decided to give herself a challenge. She would make a page without erasing anything. No undo buttons, no starting over, no tearing the page. Just one page. Whatever happened, stayed. She started with a yellow circle, then she drew a blue line through it. She hated it. Her worst instinct was to tear the page out. But she stopped. No, she said, I'm keeping it. So she continued. She added green, then red, then black. She drew a strange little creature in the corner. She wrote a sentence, crossed it out, added another, then covered part of it with paint. By the end, the page looked nothing like she had imagined, and that was the point. Kelly realized something. The journal had become the one place in her life where mistakes went mistakes. They were just part of the page. There was No teacher marking it, no client judging it, no algorithm deciding whether it was good, no audience, no expectation, just her. And suddenly, the pressure disappeared. I think we underestimate how powerful that can be. A private space where you are allowed to be bad at something, where you can experiment, make ugly things, make beautiful things, change your mind, start again, or simply stop. Please, where there are no rules unless you decide to create. Then came a difficult week. Kelly received some news she wasn't expecting. It wasn't a disaster. Nothing dramatic happened, but it was enough to make her anxious. She spent the entire evening thinking about it. What if this happens? What if that happens? Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have said that. Her thoughts kept circling again and again. Have you ever experienced that? Your mind creates a problem, then tries to resolve it, then creates another problem while solving the first one. A loop. Kelly recognized that feeling, so she opened her journal. She didn't write about what happened. Instead, she drew a circle. Inside the circle, she drew another and another. Soon, the entire page was filled with spirals. Her breathing slowed. The pencil continued moving. The thoughts didn't completely disappear, but they became quieter. That's an important distinction. Our journal isn't necessarily about making negative thoughts vanish. Sometimes it's simply about giving your attention somewhere else. A gentle distraction, a place for the nervous system to settle down, a rhythm, a repetitive motion, a small manageable task. Draw a line, fill a shape, choose a color, make another mark. You don't have to solve your entire life. You only have to make the next mark. One afternoon, Kelly visited her younger cousin, Noah. Noah was 8 years old. He was sitting on the floor with a piece of paper and a box of crayons. Kelly watched him draw. What are you making? A house, he said. She looked at the picture. It had a giant red roof, three windows, a purple door, and a sun that was much larger than the house. Why is the roof red? Because I like red. Why is the sun so big? Because I wanted it big. Kelly smiled. Shouldn't the sun be smaller? Noah looked at her like she asked the strangest question in the world. No. And he continued drawing. Kelly realized something along the way. Adults forgot this. We began asking whether something is correct before asking whether we enjoy making it. We become afraid of being wrong. We compare, we judge. We edit ourselves before we have finished creating, but Noah didn't care. He wasn't trying to become an artist. He was simply drawing a house. Maybe that's the freedom an art journal can give you back. The freedom to make something because we want to, not because it's impressive, not because it will become a career, not because someone will compliment it, just because we felt like picking up a pencil. Month passed. Kelly kept journaling. She didn't do it every day. Sometimes she skipped a week. Sometimes she only made one tiny drawing. Sometimes she wrote 3 pages. Sometimes she opened the journal, drew a single line, and closed it. And eventually she started noticing something else. The journal was becoming a record, not just of her drawing, of her. She could look at an old page and remember exactly how she felt that week. She could see how her lines had changed, how confidence had changed, how she had started using different colors, how her drawing had slowly become more complex. Ideas she has forgotten were sitting there on page. Titles, patterns, and little visual experiments. Things might never have remembered if she hadn't recorded them. This is where an art journal becomes something more than a creative exercise. It becomes a map of your creative growth. You can look backward and see where you started. You can notice patterns, you can track ideas, you can see your style of developing. You can see what interests you, and perhaps more importantly, you can see proof that you kept going. One evening, almost a year after she had first opened that blank notebook, Kelly sat at her desk. She turned through the pages. Some were beautiful, some were terrible, some were unfinished, some made no sense at all. She stopped at every page. The page with those simple black lines. She stared at it for a long time and she realized something. That page hadn't changed her life because it was good, changed her life because she had started. She had given her permission to begin badly, and maybe that's one of the hardest things for us to do. We want the first attempt to look like the final result. We want the first drawing to look like an artist made it. The first video to look professional, the first business idea to be perfect, the first page to be beautiful. But creative doesn't work that way. You begin, you make something, you learn, you make something else, and slowly you become someone you can make things you could not make before. Kelly closed the journal, then opened it again and added one final sentence to the first page, not because the page needed it, but because she wanted to. And this is where I want to leave Kelly's story. Not with some dramatic transformation, not with her becoming a famous artist, not with every problem in her life disappearing, because that's not what the journal did. It didn't fix her life, it gave her a place to meet herself inside it. And maybe that's what we need sometime. A small space, a quiet space, a private space. A space where we don't have to perform, where we don't have to be productive, where we don't have to impress anyone, where we can simply make, because perhaps self expression doesn't always have to be complicated. Sometimes it's just a pencil moving across a page, sometimes it's a page of messy doodles, sometimes it's cutting out an image and gluing it somewhere where you like the way it looks. Sometimes it's painting over something you don't like. Sometimes it's writing one sentence. Sometimes it's drawing a circle over and over until your breathing slows down. And sometimes it's nothing more than sitting with yourself for 10 minutes. No phone, no notification, no scrolling, just you and a blank page. If you have been struggling to focus lately, if your mind feels crowded, if you have been stuck in negative thought loops, or if you have been telling yourself that you are not creative because you can't draw, maybe try something different. Don't call it an art, don't call it a journal, don't even call it a habit. Just call it 10 minutes. Take a piece of paper, pick up whatever pen or pencil is closest to you and make a mark. Then another. You don't need to know where it's going. You don't need to make something beautiful. You don't even need to show anyone. You don't even need to finish the page. Just stay with it for a little while. Because goal isn't really the drawing. The goal is what happens to you while you're drawing. Your attention slows down, your hand becomes involved, your thoughts have somewhere to go. Your emotion can exist without needing to be explained. And for a few moments, you are completely where you are, present, making, breathing, being, and perhaps in a world that constantly asking for our attention. One of the most creative things we can do is simply learn how to give some of that attention back to ourselves. So, what would your first mark look like? So, this was a small story that I wrote for our journal. Hope you like it and see you in my next video, which might be about junk journaling. Thank you for seeing this video and bye.